Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are well. Thank you for joining me today. Just wanted to give a little bit of a chat and an update as to where I'm at. As I've said in my videos before, normally I kind of prepare in advance like what I'm planning on saying, so I stay on track and I say everything that I want to say, but again, today is one of those occasions where I haven't got any notes, I haven't got anything prepared, so hopefully everything comes out alright and comes out the way that makes sense to you guys. So where to start? Actually I'll start the easiest topic. This is a new Luxe Lounge hoodie from My Protein and it's in oatmeal colour and it's super lovely and comfy and nice little gold trim that they've got on it as well, and so I thought I might just say this is what I'm wearing. But down to business. So the last video that I brought to you guys, I was talking about how I just finished a mini cut. I did a mini cut for 4 weeks. I lost between like 2.5 to 3.5 kilos and it was good, and I stayed on track during that 4 weeks. I just wanted to cut back a little bit of body fat before building up some more muscle again, and the cut went successfully. I didn't have any issues with binging or anything like that. And I did the mini cut myself. I did my own macros, and then once the mini cut was over, I went back under the guidance of my coach Chrissy, back with her recommendations and programming and everything like that. So coming off the cut, typically the way that my weeks are structured in terms of my macros is I have 6 like moderate kind of calorie days and 1 higher calorie day a week, and that's always the way that I've kind of done things. But coming off this cut, Chrissy was like, let's try a different method. Let's try 2 low days and 5 moderate days, kind of just switching things up a bit. I said that I wasn't very comfortable with doing 2 low days and 5 moderate days because I do like having that 1 day a week where I get to go out with my friends and splurge a little bit and enjoy my brunch and my ice cream and all that kind of thing. So I said I still really want that high day, and so what we did is we restructured, and it was going to be 2 low days and 4 moderate days and 1 high day. And I think I might have mentioned in my last video that I was going to be planning on doing carb cycling, and so this is what I was planning on doing. A lot of change day to day, but I was willing to give it a crack. So I finished my cut on the Friday. I brought you guys the YouTube video of how it all went on Saturday or Sunday. And then on Monday, it was my rest day. It was my first low day. And in my mind, I'd finished dieting, right? Like I did very well over my diet. It was all good. Like I stuck to my time period, excellent. But then on Monday, it was my first low day, and it felt like I was dieting again, and I struggled. And this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, because at the end of the day, I binged. I felt too restricted. I binged. It was standard kind of binge foods for me: chocolate, peanut butter, ice cream, that kind of thing. And then afterwards, just a content warning, I purged. And I touched on this earlier this year, how I had been struggling with some relapses into some bulimic kind of habits. From January to April this year, I had 6 lapses where I binged and then self-induced vomiting afterwards. And I brought you guys that video where I talked about it and came clean, I guess, and was honest. And I'm not sure if I said it in that video or on Instagram or something like that, but I said that if it happened again, I would seek further help. And so Monday of last week, just after the cut has ended, I've binged, I've self-induced vomiting, and it was very tempting to just be like, oh, like it's just a one-off, you know, just another one-off, yet another one-off, yet another chance where maybe I could get things under control. But I just decided no. I made a promise to myself that if I was going to lapse again, I was going to seek professional help. So I have and did. On Monday of this week, a week after the lapse, I went and saw my GP. I got a mental health care plan. I explained to him, look, yeah, it's been 3 years since I've actually had bulimia. I don't technically have a diagnosable eating disorder at the moment, but things aren't right. and I want a mental health care plan so I can go back to my old eating disorder psychologist, and my GP is really great and he wrote one up for me. And then I made an appointment to see my old eating disorder psychologist, and that was on Tuesday, just gone. So yeah, I've gone back to counselling. I've gone back to seeing my old eating disorder psychologist that I had 3 years ago because frankly, there's an issue, there's something wrong. I'm not 100% mentally sound and it needs to be addressed. And I wanted to come forward and say, that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I just want to be really clear, like, I feel quite good, like, I feel quite happy within myself at the moment. These lapses that are occurring with this binging and purging, they're not regular, they are quite irregular. And they feel like they're kind of happening outside of myself. Like, I am very happy in my day-to-day life. I don't have any kind of major stresses. I'm doing well at work. I have a great friendship group, and these lapses, they aren't affecting my day-to-day life. So things are going good, but they could be going better. And I don't want to be lulled into like a false sense of security of like, oh, everything is like great. This is just like the little thing that I have. Don't need to address it because I want to address it. And why can't we start thinking about mental health as more of like a preventative thing? Like, I mean, we go to like sports physios and we warm up when we do stuff in the gym, and when it comes to physical things, we do preventative exercises and stuff like that to make sure that we don't get injured. Why can't mental health be like that? I don't know, I guess this is maybe a rhetorical question and I'm asking myself the same thing, but why do we have to wait until shit gets like really, really fucking bad before we feel like we're worthy of help or we feel like we need help? Why can't we be a little bit more proactive of like, okay, things aren't quite right, maybe I should go and see someone and address this so that they don't get any worse, and so I have that support network there. So I had my session on Tuesday, and I'm not going to go into detail now about what we discussed. I think I might do that in subsequent videos. I've come to a few realizations already, a few hard lessons, a few things that have been in my head but I haven't said out loud. But I'm not going to talk about that now. If you guys want to hear me elaborate on that, please leave a comment down below. But I have made another appointment in 2 weeks' time to see the eating disorder psychologist, and I plan on doing this and seeing her maybe every 2 weeks or so at least for the next few months. In terms of why I did this cut and then like I finished the cut and then I've binged again and purged again, why did that happen and why is it occurring again? And just kind of working it through with my eating disorder psychologist, she definitely thinks that dieting is a trigger for me, I would say. And it's not so much the diet itself, it's coming off the diet, it's coming out of that period of restriction that is a struggle for me. And that is also kind of what happened at the start of the year. She definitely thinks that I need some consistency, and so obviously my nutrition coach and we've scrapped carb cycling. Like, I made it to day 1 of carb cycling and had a lapse, so that's not going to be happening again. And at the moment, currently, I'm eating the same every single day of the week. I just need that consistency and routine, and I can't be chopping and changing things at the moment. I need consistency in routine, I think, day to day, and also over a very long time period to make sure that I'm keeping myself in check and avoiding any kind of triggers for binging or purging. For me now, I've come a long way than where I was at 3 years ago when I did actually have like a proper diagnosable eating disorder, and I do have some objective view now that I can step back and view it a little bit, more objectively, I guess. And to me, I think just kind of having gone through these lapses earlier this year and again just recently, I think the binging itself is to do with my relationship with food, and it often comes about due to restriction. However, I think the purging says something a little bit deeper and is more to do with my self-esteem, my self-confidence, and how I feel about myself. So please just don't judge me too bad. I do have some things I need to work through. And like, honestly, like, my self-esteem and my self-confidence is pretty good. Like, it's a lot better than it was, far out, but there is still work that needs to be done because this has happened a few times this year. So it needs to be addressed, essentially. So I think that's all I wanted to say today. This is basically just me coming on and saying that I am keeping my promise that I made to myself earlier this year, that if I was going to have another lapse into bulimic kind of behaviors, that I would seek professional help, and I am doing that. I have another appointment booked to see the eating disorder psychologist for another 2 weeks time, and I plan on continuing that for a few months to come. And I guess I just wanted to come on and say this because I wanted to be honest with you guys, and also maybe it could encourage you guys to seek some help and yeah, see your mental health and your well-being and your happiness as more of like a preventative thing, rather than waiting until things get really awful before you feel like that you have permission to take action, because you don't. Like, everyone deserves to be like the healthiest and happiest version of themselves, like inside and out. God, that's a cliche. I can't believe I did that, but it's true, it's true. So that's just a little update from me. I think that's all that I want to say. I don't know, this was very unscripted. So please, if you have any questions or comments, I'd really appreciate if you could leave them below. If you thought this was pretty fucking brave of me, please give me a thumbs up, because I think it was. And if you want to see more from me and in terms of where I go from here, of course, not all of my videos are going to be about my mental health and stuff like that, but I'll sprinkle it in little bits here and there. If you want to see more from me, I'd really appreciate if you guys subscribe to my channel. But otherwise, thanks so much for hearing me out, you guys, and I'll keep you updated. Have a good one, guys. Until next time, thanks so much for watching.